From Aaron. Well, let's see, that does that. Sometimes. Tina, I'm going to put you back in the waiting room until they call you as a witness. I'm sorry. Ms. Barnes, can you see your lawyer on the screen there? Dan, would you say something? Okay. Can you, there you go. Good afternoon. Court is back in session in case number 1023, the state of Texas versus Marquand Denise Barnes. Ms. Anchondo, you may continue.
Judge, we call Tiffany Contreras.
She is not here yet.
Okay.
The only witness we have right now is Tina Young.
Okay, we can go ahead with Tina then.
All right. Need to, are you, do you need to unmute her? Or does she? Tina, could you please unmute yourself?
Yes,
There
ma'am.
you go. Tina, would you please raise your right hand and be sworn? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Put your hand down. Please proceed, Ms. Anchondo.
Can you state your full name, please?
Tina Young
And how are you employed?
with the 69th Judicial District Community Corrections Department.
And was it, were you tasked with supervising Marquand Barnes?
Yes.
Part of that supervision, was she residing in a different county?
Yes.
Okay, and where was she transferred to Parker County?
Yes, she was.
Part of the transfer of supervision to another county, though, you still maintain control over the case file and that case.
That is correct.
All right. And so in the statewide probation, I guess, supervision, is it the obligation of probation officers to maintain records?
Yes.
Is it a regular course of business or practice for the probation officers to make the entry at or near the time of the event?
Yes.
And is that what happened in this case?
Yes.
And did you provide to my office the financials and also the chronos related to Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
And are you a custodian of records of the 69th Judicial District Community Supervisions Department?
Yes.
Judge, I want to offer into evidence as State's Exhibit number 1, the chronos and financials for Ms. Barnes.
Any objection, Mr. Seeloff?
No, Your Honor.
It's admitted as State's Exhibit 1.
And Judge, I can email this to you if that's your preference, or I have hard copies up here. Whatever you prefer.
If you have someone who could bring a hard copy down.
I do. I'll send them down right now.
Thank you.
I think it's in the chair. Make sure it's the financials. Okay, Ms. Young, did you have an opportunity to speak with Ms. Barnes on a telephone conference July 21st of 2020? And did you have an opportunity to make a notation of that in the chronos?
Yes.
Okay, and did Ms. Barnes admit to using methamphetamine?
Yes, she did.
All right, specifically, how often did she tell you that she was using?
In the July 21, July 21st, 2020 telephone visit, she reported that she wasn't using every day, but she was using 2 to 3 times per week and taking hits each time 3 to 5 times per day.
Okay. And she was put on probation April of 2019, is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so she'd already
That's
been
correct.
on, she'd already been on for over a year at that point.
Yes.
Okay. As far as making the court ordered fees during the time that she was on probation, we've alleged that she failed to make those payments for the year of 2019 in September, November, and December. Is that right?
Yes.
And then for 2020, March, June, October, November, December. Is that correct?
Yes.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December of 2021. Is that
Yes.
correct? And then for the year of 2022, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December of that year, she failed to make payments. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and kind of explain what happens when somebody is transferred to another county. Are they still supposed to be making reports to you? Do you guys both kind of make contact with the defendant? How does that work?
What they'll do is they'll report in person to the officer who is supervising in that particular county, which in her case, it was Parker County. We also do require them to report at that time by mail. We may have also switched over to online. I don't recall the time that we switched, but it's still an option either way to report on mail or on via email or online.
Okay. Do you maintain contact with the Parker County probation officer or the out-of-county officer that is supervising on behalf of Sherman County?
We do primarily only when there may be an issue, whether it be non-payment or drug usage or new arrest or any particular issues that are going on with the case.
Okay, and did that occur in this case?
Yes.
And what were some of the issues that Parker County was having?
The issues that Parker County was having, I believe, was Ms. Barnes' substance use, reporting issues. She was not reporting to them as directed. I believe that they had referred her to some support meetings that she was not attending as directed.
Okay, so as far as the substance issues, was there an opportunity or were services made available to Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Okay, and what were those?
My understanding is that they had referred her into NA meetings and other supportive programs available. We were in the midst of COVID, so there were mostly primarily online services. However, they were still available.
Okay, and is it your understanding that she complied with those classes?
It's my understanding she did not comply with those classes as required by the officer in Parker County.
Okay. And so was there an opportunity, let's see, for her to go to an outpatient treatment?
Yes.
Okay, and that was a decision made by you, is that right?
Parker County had conducted an evaluation, and their recommendation based on that evaluation was the support meetings, and then if there was continued issues, into an outpatient. So that was the agreed upon process.
Okay, and was she successful in the outpatient?
I do not believe so.
Okay, and so that decision to allow her to go to that looks like was made November 3rd of 2020 is the entry that you made, is that correct? I'm on page 4 of your chronos.
November 3rd.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And so was that, you said that this was when the COVID issue was going on. Let's see, this was relayed with the ISF Safe P process.
Yes, in part, that was, the next step was ISF.
Okay. And so with that, with the ISF Safe P, she was going to have to, let's see, because she was going to have to be in jail for 6 to 8 weeks during that process. That's where the decision was made to allow her to do the outpatient course.
Yes.
According to your entry. Okay.
Yes.
And so that was November of 2020. And then you get an email the next day, is that right? From Parker County?
That's correct, on November 4th.
Okay. That she was supposed to go into do an intake report and catch up on her UA tests.
Yes, Parker County had closed her case, and then they accepted it again. We retransferred the case there. So she was supposed to report for her intake based on that transfer.
Okay.
And she failed to show up for the intake.
Okay. And is that the notation from December 1st?
That is correct.
Okay. So they had already closed out on her once, and this was the second chance?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. And then we go to December 14th, 2020, entitled Transfer Transaction.
Yes.
Okay. And ultimately, Ms. Barnes was rejected from Parker County.
That is correct. And based on the chronos on 12/1/2020, we did receive the rejection supervision. She'd failed to report for 2 intake appointments with Parker County. So she'd missed the first one. They'd gotten in touch with her or rescheduled her to come in again for intake, and she failed to go in.
Okay.
And at that time, they rejected it.
All right. In reference to the first transfer transaction where you said that she was rejected, on page 7 of the chronos, for example, there's a transfer transaction for September 15th of 2020.
That is correct.
Okay, so that was the initial referral back to Sherman County because she wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing.
That is correct. We had also received a progress conduct report from Parker County as that she had failed to report for August 2020. And the CSO there in Parker County was unable to reach her.
Okay. And is that documented in your chronos for November 2nd of 2020 on page 6?
That was it was an entry done by Officer Contreras on 9/15/2020, rolled over. The officer at that time in Parker County had not received any confirmation that she had started the SOP, which is a substance outpatient program.
Okay. And then on November 2nd of 2020, so several months later.
Yes.
Okay. You made an entry that Parker County says that she had failed to report at that point for over 90 days.
Correct.
Okay. Then we go into November 3rd, where it looks like she does make contact with you.
Yes.
Okay. And is this where she gives her lists of excuses as to why she hadn't been doing what she was supposed to be doing?
Yes.
Okay. Did she admit to using substances at that point?
Yes, she did.
Okay. Did she say that, well, initially, did you tell her that you were going to get a warrant after the motion to adjudicate was filed?
Yes, I had informed her that would be our next step.
Okay. And that the severity of the case, did you make her aware of it at that point?
Yes,
All right. Then we go into the decision to send her to Safe P or ISF, but the jail situation, it wasn't feasible at the time.
that is correct. Due to
Okay.
COVID.
All right. So you were going to do outpatient, and then she fails to show up to get the intake process done, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. And then after that, did you hear from her at all?
The last contact that I had received from her was on 12/8/2020 in an email. And we emailed each other back and forth.
Okay. She was trying to say that she had COVID.
Correct.
All right. Did she ever provide proof of that was substantiated?
No, and she was requested, she sent a blank COVID card that had no date of the test, had no information of it. I had told her to send me the appropriate test results, and I've never heard anything from her again.
Okay. So that was December 8th of 2020. Fast forward to November 7th of 2022. That's on page
Yes,
2. Okay. She made contact with Clayton at that point.
yes, I think she appeared in court on that day.
Okay. And so that wasn't an in-office visit. That was just contact was made at the docket call.
Correct.
All right. So it'd been almost 2 years since contact was made with your office.
I'm sorry, Ms. Sanchando, you're frozen.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you're cutting out, Aaron. Can you repeat that?
It had been almost 2
I
years
believe
since
the
you had
district
made
attorney is
contact
frozen.
with her.
That is correct.
Okay. So can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
I can, but I cannot see you.
Well, I turned off my video to see if that would not bog things down. Does that seem to be helping or no?
No.
Let me see if they want me to come.
Go off the record. I wonder if it would help if she came down here.
That'd be great. I can't hear them.
Okay. We're off the record. I believe the DA is coming down to join us.
Let me just do this.
All right. Yeah, tune it on still. Well, he doesn't have anything to say yet. Tina does. And she's muted. Tina, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right, Ms. Anchondo, please proceed.
Okay, I don't know where you last heard me ask you a question.
Let me read the last question.
Okay, great.
So then go forward 2 years contact, and then you froze.
Okay, so Tina, just to reiterate, it had been roughly 2 years that Ms. Barnes had made contact with you last regarding her case. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And the next contact was because she was at court.
Yes.
Hang on a second now. Sorry.
So Ms. Young, in going through the allegations between you and Parker County, because after they get rejected from the other county, are they supposed to be reporting to you?
They're supposed to be reporting in person to that receiving county. When they do not report after 3 months, they will close a case out.
And then are they supposed to be reporting to you after the out-of-county rejection?
That is correct. That is correct.
Okay, so for 2020, did she fail to appear August, September, October, November, December?
Yes.
For 2021, did she fail to appear January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December?
Yes.
And for 2022, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December, she failed to report?
Yes.
In the referrals back to you, the UAs that she failed to submit to occurred July 2nd, June 19th, and January 21st of 2020. Is that right?
That is correct.
And then did she also fail to report in writing to your department October, November, and December of 2020, and then January of 2021?
Yes.
Judge, I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Seeloff, do you have any questions for the witness?
Yes, briefly. Ms. Young, you personally did not supervise her in Parker County, correct?
No, I did not personally supervise her in Parker County.
And you did not do monthly visits with her in Parker County, correct?
No, I did not.
And you didn't administer the classes in Parker County, correct?
I did not.
And Judge, I have no further questions for this witness.
Do you have any further questions, Ms. Anchondo?
I do not, Judge.
Ms. Young, you may be excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's Tina. Hold on, Tina, if you can stay on if we get to punishment, if you don't mind going back into the waiting room.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Anchondo, you may call your. You may call your next witness.
Call Tiffany Contreras.
Ms. Contreras, if you'd please raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Ms. Anchondo, you may proceed.
Ms. Contreras, I'm way over here because I was having internet problems. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Can you state your full name, please?
Tiffany and Contreras.
And how are you employed?
How am I what? I'm sorry.
Where do you work?
Parker County Community Supervision and Corrections Department.
Okay, and were you tasked with supervising Marcaine Barnes for a period of time?
I was. She did her intake with me December 7th, 2022.
Okay, and we've gone over some of her progress with Ms. Young out of the 69th, but can you kind of explain to the judge the issues that you were having with Ms. Barnes?
She reported in for her intake and got her leg monitor put on December 7th, 2022. She was supposed to be reporting to me weekly. She did not. She let her leg monitor die on December 20th and never charged it again. Because of that, she had a bond insufficient warrant and went into custody in Parker County on January 10th of this year. She eventually bonded out in February 8th of this year. She did her intake that then and failed to report again weekly. I even gave her the opportunity before I did another violation letter. I even gave her the opportunity to report first thing that next week on Monday morning. She failed to do that. She chose to report that Wednesday. Both of the drug tests she's done for me came up positive for THC, meth, and amphetamines with pretty high levels to show that she was using. They were sent off to the lab because she insists that she was not doing drugs. They were sent off to the lab and it was confirmed.
Judge, I'm going to object to narrative. She's already answered the question.
Okay, and Ms. Contreras, did she provide you excuses as to why those levels were the way they were?
Why the what was for what it was? I'm sorry.
Why she was testing positive? Did she provide excuses?
She just told me there was no way that she could have tested positive because her mom removed all the drugs from her house.
Okay. And did you have an opportunity to review her file when she was being supervised out of your county, but by a different probation officer?
I did not because it was for a different charge, but I do have the records but I did not review them, but I do have them in front of me as far as her drug tests go.
Okay. And are you also a custodian of records for the Parker County Community Supervision Department?
Am I what? I'm sorry.
Yes. Do you also maintain the records as a probation officer for the Parker County Community Supervision Department?
For her?
Or just in general?
I mean, I have access to those records. Yes, ma'am.
And when you guys are making entries, do you do that at or near the time of the event?
Yes, we do it either while they're here or the second that they leave.
Okay. And so in those progress reports that you have access to, dating back to 2020, do you see where she has admitted to have been using methamphetamine at least in July of 2020?
Yes, ma'am. On July 23rd. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then also a history of failing to report to probation.
Correct. She did not report after that drug test or admitted.
Okay.
Use. I'm sorry.
All right. And then that it has been your experience with her as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Seeloff, do you have any questions for the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Contreras, how long have you been a probation officer administering over Mark-Ann Barnes' case?
I began seeing her on December 7th, 2022.
Okay, so you didn't administer any of her other alleged violations before then, did you?
For a previous case, I did not.
Okay. Judge, I have no further questions.
Anything further from the prosecution?
No, Judge.
Ms. Contreras, you may be excused. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
You need her maintained. No. Let's go off the record. Do you want your phone by Aaron or by me?
In the middle.
I thought she was.
Put them in front of them.
Got you. Got you. Okay. Go back on the record. Ms. Anchondo, do you have any additional witnesses?
No, Judge, the state rests.
Mr. Seeloff, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, we have Miss Barnes.
Right, Ms. Barnes, will you please be sworn?
Ms. Barnes, please raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down.
Please proceed, Mr. Seeloff.
Ma'am, can you please state your name for the record?
Mark-Ann Denise Barnes,
Miss Barnes, when were you placed on probation?
April, I believe, 2019.
And for what charge?
Possession of controlled substance and possession of marijuana.
Okay. And you admitted in your earlier, when we announced the allegations, you admitted true to some of them. Did you admit true to some of those allegations?
Yes, sir.
Could you briefly state which ones those were?
True to the failing of the drug test of THC. Those are the only ones I remember.
Okay.
True.
There were a couple. There were things like failure to report. Did you fail to report for over a 6-month span?
No.
How did you report to Parker County?
Parker County, I reported to my probation officer, Brittany Ziegman, through her office. And then through Sherman County, I had an app on my phone where you check in and I pay my fees.
Okay. You heard from earlier testimony that Ms. Young and others allege that you have not visited probation. Is that true or not true?
Not true.
Okay. Was there anybody else with you that can say that you went to these visits?
I have my boss. I worked at AT&T at the time, so my boss is from AT&T. My girlfriend lived with me. She can attest to that because she also went with me to a few of those appointments. I mean, she waited in the car, obviously. She couldn't go in with me, but I had 2 or 3 bosses in those time frames from AT&T, so all of those can attest that I went to my appointments because I would have to take off work. Some of those, yes, I did have to reschedule due to me not being able to leave my store.
Okay. What store did you work at?
I worked at the AT&T in Hudson Oaks, Texas, and the AT&T in Mineral Wells, Texas, and I believe some of those I worked at the AT&T in Graham, Texas.
Okay. In 2023, before you got arrested, did you have a job?
In 2023, yes, sir.
Where did you work?
Liquor Depot.
Okay. And there are other allegations of drug tests. Did you ever use methamphetamine?
Yes, but not yes.
Okay. Judge, I have no further questions.
Ms. Anchondo?
Ms. Barnes, the days that you used methamphetamine, you used on or around May 27th of 2020, correct?
Not that I recall, no.
Well, how often were you using in 2020?
I couldn't tell you. That was 3 years ago. I don't know.
So when
Not as
Tina
often.
testified,
I'm sorry.
let me finish. When Tina testified that you told her you were using 3 to 5 times a week, that's correct, isn't it?
I don't remember that conversation. No,
It's possible that you used in the whole month of May at least one time in 2020, right?
not that I recall, no.
And then same for November of 2019. You used cocaine then?
No,
You've used cocaine before, right?
I have before, but way before 2019.
Okay. So Ms. Young and Ms. Seguin were incorrect in their notations on your file.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then it seems like in your answers to Mr. Seeloff, you did misreporting when you were supposed to because you were at work.
I'm sorry, I could barely hear. Can you repeat the question, please?
That in your answers to Mr. Seeloff, it seems like you did misreporting when you were supposed to because you say that you were at work.
Yes, I attempted to reschedule those appointments because I couldn't leave my store because I was the only salesman there at those times, and I never received any type of communication back to get my appointment reset.
So then, yes, you did miss your scheduled time.
Yes,
As you were corrected by Ms. Sigmund.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you understand that it's the policy there that if you miss several times in a row, they stop supervising you.
I was not made aware of that at the time.
Well, you're made aware of it when they let you go back to supervision with Parker County, right?
I was never told of my case being closed until after I got COVID, when they told me that when Miss Young told me my results were fake and that she didn't believe that I had COVID, but I was not made aware that I was rejected from probation before then.
They did reach out to you after the first time you stopped reporting, and they called your dad. Do you remember that?
No,
And your dad got a hold of you and told you to report to probation, correct?
I don't recall that. I recall a letter
That
being
was
sent to their house, but I don't.
November 3rd.
November 3rd of 2020. I think that's when I got a letter sent to the house, but I don't ever recall them calling my dad and him ever calling me. He might have called me to.
I want you to only answer the question that I'm asking you, okay? In November 3rd of 2020, that's where you have a conversation with Miss Young about why you've been missing, correct?
I don't recall that conversation.
Okay, that's where you are asked if you could pass a UA that day by Miss Young, correct?
I don't recall that conversation.
Okay, and so you don't remember basically her telling you you're looking at 20 years and you asked her to not put out the warrant. Do you recall that at all?
Vaguely, yes, that conversation, yes.
Okay, that's all the same conversation letting you know that they were getting ready to put out the violation on you the first time for not reporting.
Is that a question? Are you asking me that?
Correct? That's when they're telling you that, right?
Yes, I guess so, yes.
You didn't take that as a notice of, hey, my probation's in jeopardy? You didn't take that as
I
your first
continued to
notice?
check in after that.
I'm asking you if you took that as your notice the first time that your probation was in jeopardy. Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay. Then after that, they give you the opportunity to go to outpatient rehab. Yes or no?
I never had that, I never was told about that ever, so no.
So you don't remember the discussion about ISF or Safe P,
No, ma'am.
and that you were, so you wouldn't have to sit in jail. They were going to let you go to outpatient. You don't remember any of that.
No.
And then the COVID test that you say that Ms. Young wouldn't accept, that was in relation to your intake appointment to go to outpatient rehab, right?
I don't remember anything about an outpatient. That was never discussed from my remember, anything about outpatient, no.
And then between December of 2020 and November of 2022, you didn't report at all, right?
Okay, that is correct, because I was told that my case was closed and I tried to get a hold of people to reopen it and nobody would call me back. Nobody would return an email, nothing. So yes, I did make an attempt, but I never could get in contact with anybody.
So then yes, for 2 years, you did not report.
Yes.
Judge, I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Seeloff?
Ms. Barnes, what would you like out of this? What would you like to ask to happen to you today?
Walk away from this off paper because that some of the allegations are not true.
Would you like to continue probation if given the chance, or what would you like to do?
If given the
Judge, I
chance,
wanna-
yes, I can do that.
Just yet.
Miss, I'll sustain that objection.
Is there anything further you'd like to say, Ms. Barnes?
No, not at this time, no.
I have no further questions.
Anything further from the state?
No, Judge.
Ms. Barnes, I do find that you have violated the terms and conditions of your probation, or in this, your deferred adjudication. You have pled true to several of the state's allegations, which are sufficient for the court to find again that you have violated those terms and conditions. So we will now move to the punishment phase of this hearing. Ms. Sanchondo, would you like to proceed?
Yes, Judge. Recall Tina Young.
You're still under oath, Ms. Young?
Yes.
Right, please proceed, Ms. Sanchondo.
Ms. Young, we're now in the punishment portion of the motion to adjudicate. Judge, briefly, if I'd like to readmit all of the evidence from the case in chief over into the punishment phase.
It is admitted.
Ms. Young, briefly, as far as Ms. Barnes' suitability to remain on probation, is it your opinion that she's a good candidate to stay on probation?
No, I do not believe she's a good candidate.
Okay. And is that based on her, number one, failure to report?
Yes.
Number two, she was given several opportunities and given the benefit of the doubt that if she didn't understand what she was supposed to be doing, she was essentially reinstated already twice.
Yes,
And then third, she was given an opportunity to go to treatment and failed to participate in any of the intake process, and was really going to be able to go to outpatient treatment,
Yeah.
which is less restricted than ISF and SAFE-P. Is that right?
yes,
Okay, so is it the department's position that she be revoked from her probation and adjudicated guilty and sentenced to TDC at this time?
yes, it is.
Judge, I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Seeloff, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Young, you may be excused. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional witnesses, Ms. Anchondo?
No, Judge.
Any additional witnesses, Mr. Seeloff?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Barnes.
Please proceed. Ms. Barnes, you're still under oath.
Ms. Barnes, earlier you did admit to some allegations. Is that correct?
Yes,
You understand you did not follow all the terms. Is that correct?
yes,
You won't do those again in the future. Is that correct?
yes,
Have you learned anything from your time on probation?
yes.
What would that be?
To do what I'm supposed to do, check in when I'm supposed to check in, and not do drugs while I'm on probation.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to the court today?
I would just like another chance to be reinstated on my probation, because I can get it done, because I'm clean on drugs. I haven't done any of that. I have a job, a good job outside of jail. So, I mean, I can do, anything they ask of me to the best of my ability.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Right, thank you. Ms. Anchondo, or Mr. Seeloff, do you have any other witnesses?
Judge, can I ask
No.
her a couple?
Oh, yes.
Ms. Barnes, you're back in jail on a bond surrender, is that right?
Yes,
For failing to comply with the terms that you were supposed to through probation on the monitor?
yes, and I have the ankle monitor on.
Okay, so those conditions for the ankle monitor were put in place in December of last year, is that right?
Once before, and then I didn't have it again, and then they just put it on me again in February.
Okay,
Yes,
so you were not in compliance from the December order?
I was wearing the ankle monitor and I was charging it. Yes, I was doing all that I was supposed to do.
Okay, so you're in on a bond surrender for failing to comply for the last order, is that right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, and you've been in since March 2nd, correct?
Yes.
And these are on new charges?
No, I went to go check in with my bond supervision officer, which was Miss Contreras, and she filed a motion that I hadn't been wearing my ankle monitor, but I literally put it on 2 weeks before that. So I have it on in jail right now.
Okay, so that's a misunderstanding with the probation department. You are in compliance, but they're saying you're not.
Yes,
And then you picked up a new case while you were on probation out in Parker County that you pled true to, right? While you were on probation?
my probation was supposed to be done by that point.
You just pled true to using or possessing a controlled substance and possessing marijuana in Parker County while you were on probation here.
But my probation was supposed to be done April of 2022. I was not made aware that I was even still on probation.
Okay, so that's not your fault either?
I don't know whose fault that is, but I was never made aware that I was continuing to be put on, I was on probation still.
It's definitely not your fault, right?
I don't know how to answer that.
Ask the witness, Judge.
Mr. Seeloff?
No questions, Your Honor.
I have one question, Ms. Barnes. If you thought you were off probation, why were you meeting with your probation officer in Parker County in January?
January when?
Of this year?
It's a bond supervision officer, was never a probation officer. But I was never made aware that my probation was still going on.
All right, thank you, Ms. Barnes. Ms. Anchondo, do you have any closing statements?
I do, Judge. Ms. Barnes is not a suitable candidate to remain on probation. She cannot follow the terms. She has no accountability for herself. She committed 2 offenses while she was on probation. She was given multiple chances. The first time that she was made aware that she had been doing what she was supposed to be doing, Tina Young advised her that, look, you're looking at 20 years on this case. That wasn't enough to get her to comply. She was offered outpatient treatment at a time where COVID was happening, which would be less restrictive than ISF and SAFE-P. She missed 2 intake appointments for that. She went an extended period of time without reporting at all. And if you listen to her testimony, none of this is her fault. And so I ask that the court revoke her community supervision, adjudicate her guilty of this offense, sentence her to no less than 4 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division.
All right, thank you. Mr. Seeloff, do you have a closing statement?
Briefly, Your Honor, she's admitted to some of the probation violations that she did commit. She admitted to the use of marijuana twice. She has been, this is one of those cases where she, because it was transferred, she was trying to get back onto probation being admitted. This is during the COVID years. So Parker County is going to have different rules with reporting compared to Moore County. It's more restrictive. She was not able to, she did everything she could. She, as from her testimony, she tried to get back on probation. She tried to email and call back. She didn't receive responses. We ask that the court consider that when it renders its sentence, Your Honor, and that she, it's a mischaracterization to say that she did not admit to anything. She did admit to some violations of probation, and we ask for you to consider that, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Barnes, I am going to find you guilty. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the second-degree offense of possession of a controlled substance. I find that you have difficulty avoiding the use of opioids, and that you also have difficulty accepting responsibility. I mean, you are looking at 20 years, and you treated this very cavalierly. I am going to sentence you to 3 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Correctional Institutions Division. I'm going to order that you continue to be responsible for any fines or court costs that are outstanding. I will not assess any new fines. Is there anything further from the state?
No, Judge.
Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Court is adjourned.